Well, what do you know? Looks like it's finally happening. Or, well, something is happening. Last I checked, thousands were marching on the Capitol building in D.C. They've broken their way through many different barricades, scaling the walls of the infrastructure in certain cases. I saw pictures of protesters on the Senate floor, which was a thing of beauty. We got a woman shot and killed. That's not so much a thing of beauty. I don't know what the fuck she was doing there. Why? Women, stay the fuck out of this kind of thing. Anyways, that's beside the point. I'm not going to say that, I'm sad that this is happening or that I wish it wasn't happening because, frankly, my wishes are irrelevant. This has been an inevitability for a long time. They have been poking at this bear for quite some time, and he just keeps waking up, falling back asleep, waking up, falling back asleep. And they've gotten complacent with that result, that reaction. I don't know if he's going to fall back asleep this time. I hope he doesn't, because change needs to come. Serious change. I won't elaborate on that too much further because this is YouTube. And after all, this video is not about the protesters, the mob, I'll call them. This is about the cops. This is a message to the cops. So the way I see it, if you're a cop, or if you know somebody who's a cop, I'd urge you to show them this, see what they think. I think you have a couple of options. One is that you can quit and just fade into obscurity, maybe get a job as private security for some football stadium, or walk the beat at a shopping mall, or get a job at fucking McDonald's. Anything would be more dignified and more honorable than being a police officer in a white Western country in 2021, or even for the past 10 years now at this point. I mean, you know that you're in a lose-lose situation. Cops complain about this when they know they're anonymous all the time. You know that if you actually enforce the rules evenly, which is going to require you to come head-to-head with some protected members of society, some protected communities, you know that you could lose your job. You know that your family could be forever harassed. It could destroy your family. And you know that if you don't do your job and you just sit idly by and watch, then, well, what the hell was the point of taking the job in the first place? And now you add on top of that the fact that you have completely sullied the one contingency of people in this country that had your back. White Americans, particularly Southern and Middle America white people. They're gone. They're no longer yours to count on to have your back. And they're likely never to come back. So, what's the point? Actually, I should say, the options that I've thought of, two of them involve you quitting. One, you can quit and sort of just blend back into society. You won't be searching for any glory. You won't be getting a fleeting pat on the head by some big tech company or some politician that, by the way, will eventually discard you. I hope you know that too. You making a phalanx outside of Amazon HQ while the rest of the city burns and feral BLM joggers are beating the shit out of people. You think Jeff Bezos is going to remember that? You think he's going to care? You think he's going to, like I said, give you a pat on the head? Fucking forget it, man. Forget it. The second you're no longer useful, you're out the door in the cold with all the rest of us. Yet another reason why this job is pointless. But the other option that you have that involves quitting is quitting and joining us. Bring your expertise. Bring your knowledge. Come on in with the good guys. Come home, in a word. Or the other option that you have is to continue to wear the badge, to continue to carry the gun, and to continue to delude yourself that you're doing the right thing, and that, I don't know, whatever coping mechanism you use. Racism is the worst thing on planet Earth. I mean, that's a favorite coping mechanism of a lot of people in a lot of different positions of power. But not a lot of people have the right to carry guns. So, I mean, whatever your delusion is, just, you can hold on to that. And you can find out what Rudyard Kipling meant when he wrote The Wrath of the Awakened Saxon. If you've never read that one, I'll summarize it for you real quick. I believe it was Jim Goad that said this. Basically, white people are really nice and really accommodating and really tolerant until they're not. And once they're not, watch out. Which kind of it further illustrates the other aspect of why you continuing to hold this position that you have is absolutely pointless, because you'd have to be the dumbest fucking cop on planet Earth to think that the other side will ever be your friend. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the various Islamic, groups in the United Kingdom. I mean, that is, to think that you can ever break bread with them, fucking forget it. They will hang you the first chance that they get. And now, you've lost the other side too. And I'll tell you, you don't know it yet. Maybe today was a little taste, but the other side is actually a lot scarier. Because, and this is another one from Jim Goad, when white men act in concert, they rule the fucking world. The only thing that has kept that from happening so long is social conditioning and social pressure. Which I guess those are kind of the same thing. Manipulation, brainwashing. Convincing white people that taking their own side and standing up for themselves as white people is immoral and wrong. That's it. When you put it in those terms, do you start to see how weak that is? How easily and how quickly that can be broken down? I mean, those aren't chains. Those are not walls. Those are not bullets. They're just ideas and concepts, and you can change your ideas. You can reshape your concepts of the world and of yourself. And that's happening. I'm not going to knock most of these people in DC for flying Trump flags, because, I mean, they're caught up in it. They're still somewhat plugged into the matrix. That jack in the back of their head is only... It's slipping out, but it's not all the way out. But I think they're starting to realize, at least maybe in a primal, subconscious sense, that they never needed Trump to save them. They never needed permission to be saved and to stand up for themselves and to reclaim the lands that were built by their fathers, built for them. They never needed permission. The power to make this change was always in their hands. And it was only through a very vast and concerted effort, as I said before, of brainwashing and manipulation that they had convinced themselves to not just go out and take what's theirs. So I'm going to tell you to quit. Quit what you're doing right now. Go into work tomorrow. You can do it just like in the movies. Badge and gun. I'm out of here, chief. And either fuck off and get out of the way, or come on over with us. Or you can take your chances with option 3. As the man once said, you can build your filthy world without me.